I'm not in this hood for your pleasure. You are here experiencing what brings me pleasure. You have the luxury of that. Respect it. Respect it.
Yeah.
Because it's a luxury, and I can easily say, no, don't touch me.
Hello, welcome back to Sextras,
where we talk about sex and all the extras.
I'm Honey, and my fun fact is that I'm scared of snakes. It's not a fun fact. It's scary as fuck, but I'm scared of snakes.
But they're so cute.
They're really not cute. They're like the least cute creature I've ever seen in my life.
Well, actually, I wouldn't say cute. They're more like cool, to be fair.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you cool.
Hello, guys. I'm Maria, and my fun fact is that when I was younger, I used to go to the dentist all the time. Like, I had the worst teeth. And I hated it so much. So then I was like, okay, so when I'm older, I'm going to become a dentist. So then all the kids like me can feel the pain that I feel now. So yeah. But now thank God I didn't chase that dream of being a dentist, because I don't think I'd be a very good one.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be a very good one either. Sorry. Stick to your arts degree.
Yeah, and then all the lovely people wouldn't hear me every Tuesday on Sextras. So you're welcome, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you just be a really like sexually enlightened and liberated dentist.
I don't think that's what people want from their dentist, though. That's not really what they need.
It could be a niche market. You never know. Like middle-aged men, like horny and repressed as fuck, just want to get some like thrills when they go to the dentist.
Moving on from dentistry and sexuality,
Yeah.
we have a great episode for you guys this week because we have a great guest.
We do. We're so excited. We have the lovely Amir joining us today. He is going to talk with us about kinks. At the start of the episode, we're going to have a segment where we hear about the kinkiest things you guys have ever done. And then in the main part of the episode, we're going to move on to Amir and his kinks. Amir is otherwise known as Pup Anarchy, and he's going to dive into what his role as a pup looks like, how he discovered he was into that, submissive and dominant roles in the BDSM community, and then we're also going to chat a bit about his job because he is a shaman, which is very cool, and he's just going to kind of tell us about how his job has kind of influenced how he goes into sexual situations and the energy he expects other people to give back to him, regardless of if they're submissive or dominant, or regardless of what role he's taking on as well. Yeah, please welcome our beautiful guest, Amir.
Hello, everybody. I'm Amir. My fun fact is that in my spare time, I play with fire.
You risky guy. On the edge, living life on the edge.
What can I say? What's life like without a little burn?
True. Might as well give it to yourself so other people can't.
Self-masochism, for sure.
Yeah.
That's so
We've
cool.
just been having an extensive discussion about how we're all masochists. Even if you don't want to admit it, you are. Which is actually the perfect segue into our segment where we asked people what the kinkiest thing you've ever done is. And we had our first ever anonymous submission, which was
guys,
so excited
it's really
about.
exciting times.
It really is. Oh my god.
But should I start us off
Please do.
Okay, so the first submission. Someone said, I've smelt people's underwear before.
Scandalous. Nice.
I want to sell my underwear. I feel like that's quite a good business venture, but I don't know.
I feel like it really would be a good business venture. You'd have to, but to be fair, you'd have to keep buying underwear. Or you could just not wear underwear at all, except for when you're going to sell it. So.
Do you guys find it hot? Like, would you find smelling like a sexual partner's underwear hot or something like that? What do you guys think? Because I personally don't really. But I don't know.
I mean, you never hear of people smelling like guys' underwear. Like, you just don't hear of that. But I guess because they don't have like the same kind of discharge.
Honestly, yeah, I would. I would.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely. Like, I don't know. There's something about it. There's something about it that I'm just like, yeah, I do want to sniff your underwear. Like, put it in my mouth. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just quite like a sexual smell.
Yeah, like it is almost like its own like scent. Like there's this like this musky smell that almost just kind of like brings this like animalistic sexual attraction. You're just like, oh my god, like you smell so gross. I just want to fuck you.
Yeah.
I feel like it would really turn me on if someone smelled my underwear and like found that hot. I feel like that would turn me on more than actually doing it myself. I don't know why.
Most definitely. No, definitely. Or like even like taking off your shoe and like making somebody smell it.
I actually like don't hate the smell of my vagina. Like I don't. So like maybe I would kind of find it hot. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember when I was dating a girl, and like obviously your fingers smell very vagina-y a lot of the time, and I used to love it. Like I remember when I used to go back to my house, and like I'd love that my fingers smelled of vagina. That's so like weird, but I guess yeah.
You didn't wash your hands before you went home.
No, I literally loved it. I wanted it to stay as long as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, the beginning of COVID.
Yeah. Maria single-handedly started COVID with her weird fetish of not washing her hands after sex.
No, I feel that. I feel like when I was younger, I used to do that, actually. Like, I had a romantic partner at, like, 16, and that's when I, like, probably started my sexual exploration. And I can definitely say that, like, if I wasn't around them, like, I wanted to smell like them.
Yeah, I literally am such a big smell person. I love this, like, I always want to like bring like my boyfriend's shirt or like spray his perfume or something. I just always want to have like that like smelling stimulation, you know, not in a sexual way always, of course, but in this case, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe I need to explore it more. Like, I'll jot that down real quick.
I feel like sniffing things is probably like one of the first kinks that I realized I had without realizing it was a kink until like way later.
Yeah, that's cool. I feel like everyone has a kink that they don't realize is a kink until a while after.
Yeah.
To be fair, my boyfriend always like, well, I mean, I say always, like the 2 times that we've said goodbye because we're long distance, like he'll take my underwear without telling me, and it's the same pair, and then it's like my favorite pair, and I never realize until afterwards, and I'm like, oh, you piece of shit, like give it back.
I like that so much though. I want to like sneak in my underwear in my boyfriend's suitcase, but I'm pretty sure he'd just be like, oh, I think you forgot this. Like I don't think he'd realize I was like trying to be sexy. But I steal so much of his underwear. He literally hates it so much. I have like half of his underwear in my possession at the moment.
Nice.
That's amazing.
You like hoard it.
Yeah.
It's mine now. You can never have it back. Do you wear them?
Yes, they're
Yeah,
so
do.
comfy though. But it's it's not really a sexual thing though, me stealing it. It's more like just comfort, because girls' underwear isn't that comfy, but boys' underwear on the other hand.
True.
Right. It's different. It is a
Yeah.
bit more comfortable for sure.
I have actually been considering buying some men's underwear. Just
Yeah, I'm
'cause I
gonna
really
start.
wanna wear
I
it.
don't know why I haven't gotten on this before. Like, I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna start.
And just start wearing boxers.
Like, I'm either just gonna like not wear underwear or wear men's underwear.
That's okay. That's fascinating. I think that
Yeah.
that is like a good social advancement to make in this world.
I really think it is. Like, I've never worn bras, and like now I've stopped wearing underwear, so you know, just like really, I'm so progressive in the underwear department.
And see, exactly, like I feel like
trend.
literally, yeah. I feel like we need to stop telling women that they need to like put tight things on their body. It's not necessary. Like,
Yeah.
guys wear the loosest things always. Like,
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is, I really fancied this girl. We got chatting and ended up shagging her mum. That's crazy. Like,
I don't get how that happens. How does that happen?
just casually ended up. Like, I want a bit more
Yeah,
like
I want the
story development. Like, how did it get from one to the other?
I want to know like the build up to this. Like,
Yeah, if you sent this, please like give us a little update. We'll send you a free sticker if you update us on the story. Would you guys have sex with like one of your friends' parents, or like have you?
I personally don't think I have.
You don't think?
I don't think. It's a really big world out there. We never really know.
True.
Truthfully, would I? I feel like if I had a friend in my life currently and I were to meet their parent and their parent were extremely handsome and tall, we would have a great time together.
Good, I love that. Maria?
I mean, I don't think I knowingly would. But, I mean, I guess... No, I don't think I could. I really don't think I could do it. I think it would really disturb me. But unknowingly, I guess I would. I'm not
Also,
against...
you just don't really go for older people.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not against shagging older people. I just don't really I never really go for it. Like, I'm never really attracted to older guys or women, so I guess, or people, I guess. So, I don't know. I don't see it happening, but I don't think it's for me now. Would you?
I wouldn't not. I just don't know what the situation would like be for that to happen. Okay, next one.
Well, moving on. Someone else said, nothing too kinky, probably just handcuffed to the bed. And then they said, oh, wait, no, foot job. Nice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Are you guys into feet?
I don't get why people hate feet. I love feet.
I don't know. I don't get same. I don't know. Like I haven't taken the best care of my feet for the longest time, and now I'm taking better care of my feet, and I'm like, I really like this. Like I really like feet. Like I know that I've feet, and I've known that for a while. And it's fun because honestly, I feel like the kinkiest thing that I've done with feet is I've stuck my big toe up somebody's ass.
Oh my god.
Did they like it?
They did. No, they were just do this, and I was like, Fuck yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
I
Oh my
like
god.
I really like feet, and I always like not in a sexual way. I just want to put my feet on my boyfriend's face, but he hates feet, and he won't let me even go close. I always like tease him, and I'm just like in his face. He's like, don't even think about putting that. Like, he actually gets angry if I do, but I love it. It's not even a sexual thing, it's just like a comforting thing. Like, I love people holding my feet. And my mum has the same thing, like she likes people to hold her feet the same exact way. I don't know, it feels really connected and grounded for some reason. I just think it's really
No,
nice.
I 100% agree. There's times that like I'll find myself in conversation with people and like I'll be holding my foot or like massaging my foot.
Mm-hmm. I'm literally holding my feet right now. This is how I sit all hours of the day.
It's like my toes are cold. Like my feet get cold really easy too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm like anemic. So
Yeah,
my feet get cold. So I just like to warm them up or like massage them.
I think it must be like a germ thing that people get scared, especially like, I don't know, Americans are really weird about germs, like, no offense. But like, I think that's why my boyfriend doesn't like it, because he's like, you have to wash your feet before they're coming anywhere near me. Or like before I touch them. And I'm like, okay, I respect that, but I have socks on the whole
Definitely.
day. It's not like I walk around barefoot like in the mud and shit. Like, literally just socks on my carpet in my house. I
You're
don't
like,
think
ooh,
that's
look,
gross.
there's a pile of cow shit out in the field. I'm gonna go stomp it.
Yeah, and then you have to lick my foot. Like,
that's some different dominatrix I've never heard of.
yeah, I bet that's a kink, but like, someone let us know if that's your kink. We want to know. Okay, the next one is had sex outside, but that's not kinky, and lubeless anal, but only the tip.
But only the tip. Well, that's not pleasurable.
Yeah. Do you think it's a kink to have like lubeless anal?
Yes, totally.
Is it?
Because
Yeah,
the thing
for
is,
sure.
100%. Because like honestly, like there's some people that pre-cum a lot, and then there's some people that don't.
Yeah.
So it's like being one of the ones that does, like, fuck yeah, like I want to like work my dick into your butt without
Yeah.
any lube.
Yeah.
But do you think it's for bottoms as well? Do you think it's a kink? Like, do they enjoy it?
I feel like it is, to be quite honest, because there's
Yeah.
some bottoms that are like, no, and then there's some that are like,
Yeah.
give it to me.
Yeah, I'm sure there are loads of people that are quite into like the pain of it in a way. Because you know, sometimes when you haven't had sex in a while and like it kind of goes in for the first time and it's like a bit more tight, or like it feels a bit more like painful, quote unquote, than usual, and it just feels better sometimes. I don't know, I'm kind of into it, but I guess it can be a more extreme form of pain as well, because I guess if it was my ass it would be a little bit different, but you know.
It's a little bit tighter.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Definitely. I personally like I find it hot to do it without. But like if I were in a role of receiving and they wanted to do it without any, I'd be like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, next one.
Okay, so this person provided kind of a list. Fucked on a rock during a hike. Fucked in an elevator at college during finals because I had to blow off a load of steam. Fucked in the library during finals as well. Wait, I don't know if any of those count as kinky. I've tied her up and dominated her, blindfolded her, and had my way, teasing and touching all over her until she begged me to fuck her.
Yeah, I would say all those things are pretty kinky.
That's definitely kinky.
Yeah.
That's definitely kinky for sure.
He's like fucked in an elevator. Wait, fucked in a library. Oh wait, I don't know if that's kinky.
Fucked on a rock in a hike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tying people up, that's definitely kinky.
yeah. That's pretty textbook kinkiness.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's the first thing you think of is just, like, being tied up. That or, like, beaten.
Yeah. with the little, like, paddle.
Yeah. Like a paddle or, like, a whip or
Yeah.
the hairs or, like, whatever, really. And then, honestly, blindfolds are hot. Oh, my God. And then there's something about, like, the blindfold and then the restriction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, to me, it's less of restriction and more of nesting. And that may sound strange, but the more that I've gotten in touch with my spider-like tendencies, I've realized that spiders spend their time weaving their web because they want to, like, hold you close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But how does that relate to, like, blindfolding? Like, how does that...
So that's like the restriction.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because when you take the restriction and you create this prohibitance in what is natural, and then you take the sense or the sensation of being able to see, you heighten every sense other than your sight.
Yeah.
And now you're in a form of restriction, so your sense of feeling is longing and pushing and urging to just, like, endure
Yeah.
more than anything. So that restriction is just causing that urge to push for more, wanting more, seeing what else it is that your limitations can handle.
It's like a challenge to yourself. Like, how much can you handle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
100%.
But so with the whole, like, having sex outside thing, do you think that's kinky? Like, is exhibitionism kinky? Or is it a separate thing?
I think exhibitionism is super kinky, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a massive thing. Like, personally, coming from a gay community, I have endured the experience of understanding that we go to, like, parks and we'll just, like, we'll fuck you anywhere. We'll fuck you in the bathroom. We'll fuck you on the swing set. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, really doesn't matter. And, like, it's interesting because, you know, that is a form of exhibitionism. And, like, I think the problem is, personally, there's a distinct difference between voyeurism and exhibitionism. Like, being an exhibitionist means that, like, you want to explore and have sex in nature. But, like, voyeurism is, like, allowing others to watch. So, like, you want to have sex in public in front of other people.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
And so I think that, like, there is that distinct difference, and that should be, like, kind of distinguished, because I feel like not everybody really understands that. Just because I want to fuck outside does not mean I want to do it in front of where people can see me.
Okay, so the next one, sat on a cake and had my boyfriend eat it up. I love this. Like, I love this
is
so
my
much.
favorite. I wonder how
Yeah,
it
that
happened.
just
Like,
sounds so
do you
fun.
think it was like, did she just, like, accidentally sit on it?
Yeah, like, you bought the cake specifically so you could sit on it, or, like...
Yeah.
Probably. She's probably like, here, babe, happy birthday. And then she, like, just sat on it.
I love that. Yes.
Happy birthday. And just to let you know, I'm as lit as the candle that would have been here, so I'm gonna sit
Yeah.
here. Like... And then just, like, shove his head, like, in the cake. And just, like, make him start eating her pussy.
Oh my god.
What a story.
That sounds like a really good way to get like a UTI or thrush.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I love the idea of it, but like my vagina would literally kill me.
Yeah,
The days after.
I mean, this sounds like my ideal kind of kink, because I have like a sugar addiction that's like very real. So like you just get both pleasures at the same time, you know? But yeah, I don't think my body could withhold that.
My question is this. Would it even feel good against a vagina to feel a kink?
Yeah, I'm just like trying to picture the like the squidginess of the cake.
Or like the frosting, like would the frosting feel good?
Maybe the coldness of like
The coldness of the frosting.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you guys heard of like the fruit roll-ups? Well, we don't have them in the UK, but like do you guys know what it is? Like fruit winders for UK people, that kind of vibe. I want to like, have you heard of like wrapping it around like the dick and then you blow the guy with the fruit roll-up wrapped around? I really want to do that. That sounds like so much fun.
That does sound like a lot of fun.
Really good.
Like honestly, I'll be like, it's weird. Like coming from a position of where like I do like to be submissive, but I'm also extremely like personally dominant. I don't like sucking dick. Will I? I mean, like,
Really?
totally. I don't. I mean, like, I do. It's fun, but like it's not. I don't like I like when I'm in control of it. Like I don't like when you're like forcing my head down and like I'll deep throat you.
Okay.
Like don't get me wrong, but like I'm gonna take my time. Like
Yeah.
I hate like when my partner is like trying to just get off from a blowjob and they're just like no, that's not my forte, but I will give you a blowjob. But with a fruit roll up, with a fruit roll up, I would definitely give you a blowjob. That would make everything completely different.
Yeah, this is making me reconsider my sex life. Like, maybe food is just the way to go, you know?
I'm actually really not into the idea of involving food and sex.
Really?
Oh,
I guess
like
that
I
could be
really
its own
don't.
kink.
I don't know. I don't wanna. Yeah, no, but I think it is a kink. Like, you know, with the whipped cream and all of that stuff. I think that's like something that's not vanilla, like involving food in the bedroom. But I'm really not into it because I just don't get the stickiness and stuff. But the fruit roll up thing, I really want to do that because that sounds fun.
That does sound fun. I agree, though.
Yeah,
no, it really is a
having
kink.
to shower.
That's funny. Yeah, no, there's people that do heavily get into involving food into their like sexual pleasures, though, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
there's I'm pretty sure there's girls out there that have OnlyFans accounts just of them eating naked.
Yeah, I do definitely see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next one is I pissed on a guy once. Would you guys do this?
I
Or
have
you?
done it.
Yeah.
And I would totally
Why?
do it again.
Like,
Really?
Like, why? Like, what? I don't get it.
I think it's sort of like, I don't know, it's primal. To me, it's very animalistic and primal, and like, I want to pee on you. I want to like mark my territory. Like, fuck yeah. I want to pee on you, and then I want you to pee on me, and then like, let's fuck in it. Like, that's my idea of a good time.
I think, like, even if I wanted to, which I very much don't, I don't think I could. I just don't think I could make myself pee on someone.
Would you let somebody pee on you?
No.
You're like, no, definitely not.
I think pee, like, it smells really gross. It's also just like the messiness factor. If I'm not gonna let someone put like sweet, sugary whipped cream on me, like, I don't want your piss on me. So yeah.
That's funny.
Maria, do?
I think I would do it. Like, yeah, if I was with someone that was really into it, I think I'd give it a go. But I'm not necessarily like, I don't know, I'm not that keen. I don't think I'll try it soon, but I'll try it. I get the primal thing, and I get the, like, I don't know, I like sort of the idea of kind of like being good with each other's mess, and I'm not a very like, I don't get grossed out by a lot of things, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would gross me out that much. But actually, like, shit, like, playing with shit and stuff, like, that's something I don't think I could do. But pee, like, I think I could do it.
Literally took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, I probably just couldn't go for shit play. Like, scat is not a thing. Like, it's interesting, like, when you look at subcultures, like, different representations and different colors can have different meanings and what people enjoy. So it's interesting because it's like, I'm really glad that I haven't really pulled brown into my life.
Yeah.
Because that is not the image I want to set for myself, nor is it who I am. I'm like, yeah, it comes out of me, but it's gross. Like, I don't want to play with it.
Yeah. I wouldn't even want to touch my own, let alone someone else's. So, like, I'm good. I'll pass on that one.
I know personally, like, I've been in, like, experiences where I'm, like, fucking a guy, and, like, you know, maybe, like, he ate recently or something, and that just, like, the amount of friction and, like, the amount of time that I've been spending, like, putting my dick in your butt, like, yeah, like, you're pushing things out, and, like, I get shit on my dick, and, like, I don't like that. Like, if I smell it, I'm like, instantly, like, my boner goes away. Like, I can't get horny anymore. I'm done. And, like, sometimes, like, if it's really good sex, like, I'll fight through it, and, like, I'll just, like, finish, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then there's other times that I'm like, you're good, we're good. You can go home.
Tell us a bit about yourself before we dive into the rest. Like, what's your job? How did you get there? A bit of background about yourself.
Okay, well, let's see. My job. I'm a shaman. I perform energy healing. I do things like Reiki and Tantric Reiki and guided meditation, breathwork, hypnotherapy. I do tarot readings, so pretty much anything of, like, spiritual, divine, magical essence I provide. I hold space for a lot of experiences that we endure as individuals. Personally, how I found myself here. Well, that's relative as to how you consider here. I went through a set of experiences putting myself down different paths and careers that were suitable, not suitable, experiential, progressive, very progressive in ways that were unimaginable to the time frame and the experience. And then just discovering this portion of myself that had this recollection is what enveloped me into a spatial awareness of more discovering what I had the ability to provide. And as I was setting those intentions out, those intentions were coming straight back to find me. In some of the strangest ways. But definitely to make sure that, like, first of all, like, we're energy, like, we're all energy. We're remembered. We're remembered by others. We're remembered sometimes by others when we don't remember ourselves.
Yeah.
And that is probably one of the most interesting things that I've experienced in this path, because people will make sure that you are who you say you are. Because at this point, like, we've been through so many personal experiences and everybody has such personal history that we want to know that, like, it's you. You are you. Like, you're actually here. Because the thing is that most people aren't here. And that's why I say it's relative as to where you define here at. Because sure, like, I'm with you. But am I here? No. Not necessarily. But I think that is where I've learned that, like, paying my attention and my time to others is where I can make a greater impact in helping and loving and showing that true consideration of understanding, and that, like, I'm not here, I'll never be here, but I'm here for you.
Do you think, or how do you think, I guess, coming to this realization of the things that you can offer people and the ways that you can help them, and sort of this, I guess, bigger awareness of yourself? Maybe, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I guess a bigger awareness, and like, how does your work basically inform or affect your life, like your sexual life or yourself as a sexual being? How have you noticed it, like, changed, or how has it affected?
Oh man. So personally, like, it's changed tremendously. And I think the funny thing is that it's changing so much currently. And I think that this is a perfect time to sit and kind of open up on that, because I'm coming from a time and place where I was so against the things that I enjoyed for so long.
Like what? Like, can you elaborate?
So I would see these experiences happening outside of myself. And there was a portion of me that's like, that looks fulfilling, you should endure that. And then there's that portion of me that, out of this characteristic of trained and learned equipment from growing up, was like, that's fucking gross. Stay away from that. Don't do that. And so I think it tremendously shifted my mindset and what I should allow myself to feel fulfilled inside of. Because I think it allowed me to comprehend that if you can't please everybody, you pretty much can please nobody. But if you're all one, and I'm you and you're me, then please yourself, because pleasing yourself is going to please everybody else.
So it's kind of like this idea of repression. I think people get so in their heads about what they should do or what they need to be doing to get to a certain place by a certain age, or just have a title, say they've achieved something. But it's like, in the end, you're not actually pleasing anyone unless you, like, listen to what you actually want. People get so caught up on expectations or just ideas that are put on them in society that you kind of just don't even know how to listen to what you want in the first place. So, like, how did you even get to the point where you were like, what was your moment? I don't know if you had a moment of realization, but if you did, where there was like one specific thing that you were like, okay, well, this is something that I want, and this is something I have to do to make myself happy.
100%. Like, that's what it came down to. I was laying here and I was meditating, and I was opening myself up, and I was really, like, expanding myself into my root and really connecting to myself, and, like, really connecting to my primal connection of, like, me and how I fit in place of the resonance of this earth. And I told myself, like, this is you. And my initial instinct was like, no. And then my experience pushed me further into the feeling that it provided. the fulfillment that it could expand into.
Mm.
And that's when I said to myself, okay. Okay, sure. But that takes me into the comfortability, which I think we were talking about earlier. It, in a sense, makes you a bit uncomfortable. But you have to learn how to be comfortable in uncomfortability. It's a learned behavior. It's an adaptation. It's an adaptation to your surroundings and to who you are, and allowing yourself to not judge yourself or be harsh on yourself or being desensitized to your feelings about who you are. Like, obviously you care about who you are, but just because you care doesn't mean you can degrade yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you start degrading yourself, everybody else does.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if you like expose yourself to uncomfortable things enough, you kind of know what levels of uncomfortability is like you can take, rather than what uncomfortability other people impose on you and that you can't take. You just learn so much more about yourself and like how you put yourself into other situations with other people. It's kind of like a primer.
You learn more about your tolerance, what you can tolerate, how much you can tolerate, at what capacity you can tolerate it.
Yeah. So in terms of, I guess, your sexual or romantic life, you were saying earlier about how like you were just very out there and you experienced a lot. So do you think that having that experience kind of allowed you to have some perspective and like step back and be like, the array of experiences you had, you could kind of pick and choose which ones felt right to you?
100%. I feel like I was submerged into all these experiences and put through all of them, and then it was like, okay, which one did you like and which one did you not? And then I was like,
Yeah.
most of it I didn't. But I'm alive.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, like, just because I'm kinky doesn't mean that I want to submerge myself into the whole world. And it doesn't mean that I want to partake in all these kink parties and like being in like orgies. Like, that's not my forte as far as my kinkiness goes. My kinks are like, I want your one-on-one divided attention, and I want you to like really show me what you're made of, and I can promise you that I'll do the same.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, I give off the energy that you give. So personally, like I said, like I take a submissive role. Technically. I don't think the submissive role is really lesser than. I think they're more in control of. But like, there's something to that just brings its own adversity that allows me to kind of gravitate towards feeling what it is that my handler has to provide, and then reconstructing it for what I know it to be as, if it's not being channeled in a way that doesn't resonate, and then giving it back. But that's the problem. It's difficult to discover a handler that's worth the time and effort in their flexibility, that's willing to want to receive. Because you say the word receive and they instantly think like, no, you're not going to penetrate me. Like, that's not what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying to you is that I'm in this role, but I'm still dominant and I still have a lot to offer, and I can give it to you, but you have to be willing to receive it. And it would challenge both of us to be better if you were open to receiving.
Yeah. So can we kind of unpack the handler role and like how you discovered that you like that? Like, kind of explain what it is to, because I think some of our audience probably won't know.
My personal perspective, I can't necessarily speak for a handler because I'm not one. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to. Like, and personally, like, I'm coming from such a massive community that, again, like, you know, my soul has known for forever. But I've been too afraid to step into it because of my environment. So ultimately, like, I've taught myself everything I know. I don't require a handler. I don't need one. I'm a lone wolf. Like, I'm my own pup. Like, I'm my own being. I'm my own thing. Like, I'm completely separate from majority of, like, what this community has to offer in a way. But I'm also a massive part of it.
Yeah. But is it just in a way that you like so happen to be in it? As in the experience comes before the label or the group rather than trying to fit into it.
And you don't even see it as yourself until way later.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God, like, I was around my entire pack and nothing. Literally nothing. Because they were just like, who the fuck are you? Like, you're not you. This isn't good. And so it was like, it was interesting because I'm looking at you like, you're not you. You're looking at me like, I'm not me. And then it's just like confusing. So I think ultimately, like, when it comes down to me personally, how I discovered it was through them. Like, they channeled that. They showed it to me. They were around me. And then, like, I, you know, opened myself up and I was like, whoa, like, that's me. That's who I am.
Yeah.
And then I started, you know, realizing and recognizing, like, I have to put myself back in. Like, I know who I am. Like, I have to put myself where I know I'm at so I can make the change that I want to. Because I think that this development of this community was to make sure that we were always safe and that we were always okay and that we were always taken care of and not being mishandled. But I think that that quickly became something different. And I think that that's why I'm here now.
Yeah. So when you say like the community, is it specifically other pups or is it like the general BDSM community?
All of it, really. I mean, like, other pups, other handlers, like, I mean, it really doesn't matter. Like, BDSM, like, is it, like, pup play is not, it's not a form of, like, being open to the idea of bestiality. Pup play, to me, personally, like, some people are like, I'm a dog. Like, yeah, I'm a pup. Like, for sure. To me, it's like getting in touch with my animal spirit. I'm putting myself in place of my animalistic tendencies in nature. Because I personally know that, like, I am an animal spirit trapped in a human body.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so difficult to, like, see all these, like, factories of, like, meat and other things. And I'm just like, whatever. Because, again, we're all our own masochists. So I put myself through some crazy experiences in that spectrum of things. But that's its own topic. It's just, it's interesting, though, because I discovered that, like, I want to be able to be primal. I want to be able to release myself and, like, give into this urge and still be understood and heard. But, like, I also felt as though I want to connect. And if not talking and putting on my hood was a better way to connect, to be able to be heard, then good. Like, now I'm making the change that needs to be done and should have been done a long time ago.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love the idea of what you just said, the not talking, and like if that's gonna make someone hear you, that, I don't know, that's really like powerful. I really like the idea of that.
I feel like what I've learned along my path is sometimes the best thing we can say is nothing, or sometimes the best thing we can do is nothing and let the situation take care of itself.
Definitely. And I think when people hear the terms like pup or handler or literally any label, there's all these associations that come with that, regardless of whether people think it's completely something they would never be interested in or anything like that. It's more just in terms of power roles and that kind of thing. As you were saying, you go into a situation and sometimes the handler can think, oh, they're the dominant one or whatever, but actually how do you reframe that in terms of like you're both bringing equal worth? Like you're not any less part of the situation just because you're the pup or because you're the submissive or any of the labels that you want to associate with those.
Exactly. And that's extremely important, because the thing is it's not even just the labels anymore. Like, it's the fact that our handlers are getting out of control. They're thinking that they can just be dominant out and inside the bedroom, and it's just like, hold on, no, I'm not in this hood for your pleasure. You are here experiencing what brings me pleasure. You have the luxury of that.
Mm-hmm.
Respect it. Respect it.
Yeah.
Because it's a luxury, and I can easily say, no, don't touch me. No.
Yeah.
No. Like, I can easily say that.
Yeah, and that has so much power.
Exactly. And they don't like to hear it. And that's the problem. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, this community was created for us to be safe.
Yeah.
And I want our safety. I want people to be safe. I want people to stop not grounding themselves and throwing themselves into this world of play and not realizing what they're doing, or pretending like they know what they're doing, and just like instantly going from like this role play of like, oh, like I like younger, older type role play, so like I'm gonna call you boy. No, I'm not a boy. I'm a pup. You can call me pup or puppy. Like, you can call me one of those.
Yeah.
You're not gonna call me boy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be called daddy, sure, I'll call you daddy, not all the time. And you better believe that, like, if I'm not having sex with you, I'm not gonna respect you in that way, because it's not that important, because none of us are, neither of us are over each other type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, like, it's just interesting. Like, we have to be courteous to each subcategory that we decide to channel or partake in.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think also I'm really glad that I think you've highlighted that just because you are sort of in the kink community or in the pup community or like literally any community that there is, it doesn't mean that you would like take every single box of every single like stereotype, or not even stereotypes, like things that apparently those people are into. Like, everyone is their own individual person, and it's like a community is like people that are into similar stuff that come together, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, not every, but every single person in that community is still an individual, and like everyone is entitled to say yes or no to anything, and like everyone is pleased by different things. Like, I don't get how, because of course when we talk about sex in like a vanilla term, or like I guess not in any kind of terms, but just in terms of pleasure and whatever, we recognize that everyone's bodies are different people will be pleasured by different things. Therefore, like, the same applies in like the kink universe, I guess. Like, different people will be into different angles, or like a different version of like whatever. I don't know, it's not all so black and white. Like, and that's why we have to listen to each other and listen to yourselves and be like, okay, I do identify as this, but that doesn't mean I have to do this and this and that. I actually enjoy this better, or I actually don't like doing that. So yeah, it's just about listening and paying attention, as we have been saying.
Time is money.
Communicating, because most people communicate what they want even when they're not communicating. And that's why I say paying attention. Absolutely. Because like, you can see somebody's actions, you can feel somebody's expression, you can feel somebody's energy and sharing the same room with them. And like, that's where I'm coming from on this approach. Like, I get it. Like, you say BDSM, like, you're like, oh yeah, like whips and chains and like fucking smacking each other. No, I like it gentle. Like you can be gentle. It's possible. Like you can actually be gentle during these
Yeah.
experiences. Like you don't have to be so
Mm-hmm.
aggressive. Like it's okay to want like a natural experience that is along these ropes without so much aggression and
Yeah.
over stimulation of
Yeah.
masculinity.
Yeah.
Another label that people fall into.
And like obviously I'm not in the kink community or anything, but I think from what I've heard from people, sort of going back, I kind of want to talk to you about it, because going back to the idea of the submissive being in control, I think something that I wish was more like mainstream in sort of vanilla sex and outside of the kink community is this idea of like, really, you have to pay a lot of attention, because when you're like hitting someone, or we're like when pain's involved and like all of this kind of stuff, it's literally all about paying attention. And a lot of people that do get involved with this kind of power play and or pain or anything along those lines, it sounds like they're so much more attentive, and I really like appreciate that. And I guess I don't know if you could speak to that, like to this idea of how to stay present within yourself but also be attentive of the other person, if you have any sort of tips or anything to speak on that about.
Body awareness, absorbing into yourself, stop floating around the experience and take it all in. That's my personal preference, or like that's what I have noticed that I do
Mm.
for myself. I would also say just like opening yourself up to receiving the idea that again, like you're not separate from this person, so please yourself for sure. Like take advantage of pleasing yourself in this moment. What's gonna bring you pleasure? Is sucking his dick gonna bring you pleasure? Do it. Is like him eating your ass gonna bring you pleasure? Ask
Mm.
him. Like it's that simple. Like it's like
Mm.
what is gonna bring you pleasure, and then like as long as you're being communicative, you can trust that like you have more control of the situation than you think you do. Because if you're only involving yourself with yourself, then like you can tell yourself like what to start doing, and they're gonna do the same. Like you're gonna reflect each other.
Yeah.
And that's why I say gentle. Like I don't mean like I want you to like hit me lightly. No, like I'm just saying like I want you to display like an actual affection and attention and gentle like energy to display, but like do
Mm.
whatever your physical self
Yeah.
may.
Could you talk a little bit about aftercare, or any of the things you like in aftercare, or yeah, just talk about it generally, because I don't think a lot of people that are not in the kink community like know about the whole aftercare thing.
Show your pups attention. Love them. Give them cuddles. They need it. They are always lonely and stressing out continuously. Personally, this pup like has completely shifted realities and is like fucking scared, dude. Like he's scared and like he doesn't want to go outside and play. He doesn't want to go to the park and get fresh air. He's afraid of people right now. Like he doesn't want to talk to people. He doesn't want a handler. Like he does, but he doesn't because he knows that he's independent. He's independent. But
Mm.
wanting somebody around is natural human nature. Like that's not unnatural to want or to need necessarily. I would even say that it's kind of a necessity to have other energies around at certain times, you know, with the right constructed schedule. But it's important, like we need attention. Yeah, we're here and like yes, we're like putting ourselves out there and like getting attention, but like we need to receive attention as well. Like you have to be there like to like kind of
Mm.
like show your pup some affection and like show them like hey, like you can either like cuddle up with me or like sleep at my feet. Like I don't care. Like get comfy. Like I want you to be comfy. Like your
Mm.
attention is about them. And like that, and that's the idea. Like that's in a way like you could look at it and say like, you know, majority of these loving relationships are being taught now like are nothing compared to this. But when looking at it, it's like how do you raise a family with that?
Mm.
Like I mean like, and that's why I think there needs to be that level of separation, of course. Like obviously like I want to be able to build a domestic life for myself. And within saying so, like, I don't want to be the pup in the hood sleeping in the other room while daddy takes care of the kid. That's not really my fulfilling idea. Like, do I think that I would want to take my hood off just because I have a child? No.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just personally saying that, like, there has to be some type of even energetic creation that allows for that sustainability to take place.
Yeah, but it's so interesting that you say that, because I think from what you've been describing about the respect and the understanding and the awareness of each other during sex, I think the wider society has so much to learn from from that community. I don't think that same level of awareness is present in one night stands, or even not just one night stands, like just in the way that we put ourselves into sexual situations. We're not aware of what we want. We don't give ourselves like the opportunity to understand what we deserve and what respect we should be getting from the other person.
We don't hold space for ourselves to explore. We expect somebody else to do it, and that's the problem. Just because you have somebody else here doesn't mean you're gonna just start exploring. Like, that's not how it works. Like, that's why I think the connection is so primally important. If you're not connecting with yourself, you're not gonna get the pleasure or satisfaction that you're looking for.
And I think that carries into relationships as well, like regardless of sex. Like your relationship with anyone, you can't put yourself in that situation and really know how to interact with them unless you like know yourself and you respect what you want.
100%.
But how do you approach finding the right person that will like match with what you want? Is it just kind of like as you were saying, you put that energy out and then that's what you get back?
Yeah, literally one word. Woof. Like, it's that simple. Like, I don't even have to say anything.
That's crazy.
Woof. And it's like, if you get it, you get it. And like, you like, personally, like, if I reached out to you, like, woof, like, you would come back. Like, you would start initiating conversations and like holding space and like requesting me to listen. And like, that's the thing, like, again, I'm a self-taught pup. Like, I didn't have a handler to say like, all right, sit. Like, no, like, I know how to listen. I come trained. So it's like,
yeah,
like, I'm good at what I do type thing. Like, I've done it forever.
Yeah,
literally done it forever. So it's just like, it's crazy because, like I said, when I like, there's different color codes and combinations, and like, when I started my adventure, like, I literally just bought a gray hood, and like, sure enough, like, BDSM and like bondage is what represents gray. And like, it's true, like, tying people up and like being a switch and like a rigger and like playing both roles, either getting tied up or tying somebody up, is like my biggest turn on. Like, I just want somebody to have the limitation of being able to touch themselves. I want them to focus their attention and their like space into just their pleasure and like not being able to satisfy themselves, but like being satisfied. Like, that is so thrilling to me.
So in a way, do you think that your work and then your sexual preferences kind of just came hand in hand? Like, they tied together so perfectly.
Yeah, they really did. And that's why I'm like, sex work is real. And like, I wish I could tell the world that. With this society, that's probably a definite no, but like, that's fine. Like, I can still do what I do. It's not like I have to like put myself into an experience where it's like, okay, just because I'm healing you, I have to make it tantric. No. I'm here to heal you.
Yeah.
And I'm an intuitive healer. So I show up and I'm like, okay, I see where you're at. And I'm like, I'm going to start fixing things where I see necessary. you can talk to me if you want. I can promise you that, like, I don't, like, listen. Like, if you want me to listen, like, that's a completely different subject. That's talk therapy. Like, that's a completely different, like, subcategory of what I provide. So it's just like, you have to be open and honest with what you want from me. Like, I'll provide what you need, but, like, you have to be honest of what you want. And, like, that's my point. I'll tell people from the get-go, like, I have talk therapy, I have tarot, like, I have hypnotherapy, guided meditation, Reiki. Like, majority of the time I spend my time doing Reiki. But, like, it's interesting. Like, people, like, will go into a tarot reading, and, like, they'll sit there and they'll try to, like, be like, oh, well, this and that and that's going on. I'm like, I don't, sure, yes. And, like, the thing is like, I don't need to know, because I feel it, I see the energy, and I see their train of thought and which direction of travel it's heading in, and I can either see if it's steering in the right or the wrong. And, like, typically, like, if I see it going in the wrong, I'll start, like, throwing out more information to bring them back on track.
Yeah.
And that'll put them back there, and, like, I'll watch them do it by themselves. Like, I won't force the change. I'll just, like, put something there so that way they're like, oh yeah, I can reconstruct my view. But that's my point. Like, I don't need to know what's going on in your life to tell you what you need to know to fix it.
Yeah. How do you go into those situations where you're so confronted with other people's lives and thoughts and feelings, and then go home and, like, be yourself?
And remember who I am?
Yeah.
That's a really good question, actually. My sanity comes with smoking a lot of pot.
Okay. Fair.
It starts there. And then I would say my hula hoops keep me grounded, you know, like, me recognizing that, like, I'm not there and they're not forcing their energy into my space. I'm there and I'm entering their space and leaving it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the one with the power. I know that I'm there. And then, like, I come back to take care of myself. I do self-care. I'll wash my face. I'll take a shower. I'll relax. I'll decompress. I'll breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll sage myself. I'll get all the negativity or energy. It may not even be negative. All the energy, and I'll just, like, throw it away. I'm like, here, get away from me. Like, I just need me. I need me for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ways that I would definitely say that I keep track of myself inside of that experience. And, like, sexually, like, I feel like that even takes place too, because, like, sure, I'm a dog. Woof. 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 Like, there's something super fucking hot about that. And, like, I don't know, like, even, like, I could probably, like, get off from looking at myself behind the hood. Like, something is sexy about it. But, like, there's a recognition of the fact that, like, I'm still a human. Like, I'm still a person, and I still have emotions. And, like, I know I have a great emotional memory. And, like, I know that I'm very structured and very, like, rooted and deeply aligned with a lot of the things I say and the purposes that I put behind them. So I'd personally say that has made it greater to understand that, like, I am me before I am able to be anything else. And what I've come to recognize is that, like, we're not here to understand each other, we're here to experience each other. And that's why I'm like, I want to change that, but to change that, I have to be here to take care of that and, like, submerge myself inside of it to show that I can, like, even be where everyone else is at, I guess, in a way. So ultimately, like, that's my primary focus, is showing people, like, hey, like, I'm here, but I also want you to see that I'm still understanding of I am who I am, and I have the ability to shift out and into this experience and the role that I tackle on throughout those experiences.
Yeah.
And there just has to be that consent. There has to be that level of consent between both partners of, like, hey, like, you're not just getting this and this is all it is all the time. That's not it. You're getting, like, you're getting a fucking, like, a compound of things. Like, I am a combination of things and people, like, and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're not just getting, like, this one set pup. Like, oh, you have a pup. He takes his hood off sometimes and, like, he'll walk around the house naked. Like, great. He does chores. No, like, this pup is gonna leave the house, this dog is gonna go on adventures, this dog is gonna go alone, like he's gonna visit other countries, he's gonna heal the world, he's gonna take care of people, like and there has to be that level of consent of understanding that like I prohibit this role sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what has allowed me to recognize like I'm only there sometimes. Like I'm me, and without me, this wouldn't exist. I have created this.
I think that's such an important lesson for like any job, literally anything, being able to have just that thing that you can always come back to. Like, I don't know, you are your own home in a way, and then everything outside of that is something that you have like the power to choose to inhabit.
And who you choose to share that with. And people don't respect that anymore. People think that they just are entitled to that. And it's like, hold on, just because I'm outside does not mean that you are entitled to everything I have. And just because I'm carrying all of it with me does not mean that you have the right to analyze it.
Definitely.
From the outside. Because if I don't feel your internal connection, I don't feel secure around you. I don't feel safe. If I don't feel internal connection, if you can't hear me, I don't want to be around you. I'm scared. I'm scared of you because I don't know what's going through your mind, and I don't know, not that I need to know, really, but like ultimately it just comes down to the idea that like I just don't know what you're capable of. Or where your mental cognition is, because it's not where here is explained as. Yeah.
So what does it look like to recognize that someone is like that, and then to communicate to them we're just not on the same level? Like, how do you do that?
Oh, easily. So easily. I say, hey, we're having different experiences. I'm not going to take you from where you are because you're happy where you're at. Enjoy your journey. I love you.
That's so good.
Bye.
And then they get scared and they want to just like talk, and they just want to like, well, like, what did I do, or what did I say, or like this and that, and I'm just like, we're not doing this argument. This argument, this entire like load of questions of just tit for tat, we're not doing it. Because I've learned that like before friction arises, I can like mitigate it and like push it away, prevent it from really entering my space, taking it by the collar and just being like, yeah, fuck no, get out. and typically it's me, like literally I'm taking myself by the collar and I'm like, fuck no, get out, like get out of this situation, like say goodbye, farewell, it doesn't matter, like they don't matter, clearly. You don't matter in their mind, so they don't matter in your reality, period. So just leave. And like that's what pulls me back, like every single time. Like I'll pull myself by the collar and I'll be like, hey, this isn't good for you, and I'll just be like, hey, so long. And then they're like, huh, why? And I'm like, delete, block. Stay where you are. I don't want you here.
Yeah, we gotta stop taking bullshit from people, like, and being better at cutting them off. Like, if they're not good for you, that should be enough reason to be able to, like, or like if you're not in the same path or whatever, like, yeah, like that should be a good enough reason. They don't need to do anything to you. Like, why are we expecting or waiting for people to do bad things to us to let them go? Like, it's not always that simple.
I can tell you that if you have an expectation that somebody's going to do something bad, they will, and you should probably just walk away from the situation altogether.
Why do we wait till we get hurt? Yeah. Like, really hurt.
There's a lot of people that are out there. Definitely. Oh my God. I've been tremendously hurt. I've been in situations and relationships that have put me through literal, like, psychosis. So it's just like, yeah, like, I get that 100%. Like, wow. And like to be here today is why I'm so protective of myself, because I don't trust anybody else to protect me. My handler could come into my life and be like, oh, I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna protect you. Yeah, okay, cool. I think pretty sure I'm protecting myself. I think that you're just manifesting yourself here because of the fact that I'm taking more protection and caution on myself.
Yeah.
But thank you for thinking that it's you. It's still me.
Yeah.
Not saying that they don't exist, but like obviously they do exist, but like just not in that role.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You can be that sense of security, but I know you're not going to protect me. Nobody can protect anybody, really. You can protect yourself. You can protect yourself.
Mm-hmm. And you know, like, the power that other people can have over you if you let them, but you just shouldn't have to let them. You shouldn't be in a position where you feel like you should.
Nobody should ever have to sacrifice their power. And if they feel as though they're in a position that they are, reach out. That's my advice.
That's really good advice.
Should we close on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do we have any closing thoughts? But that was the closing thought.
Yeah, that was a great closing note.
That was like the perfect, like, advice.
Definitely. Most definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I think all of, like, everything we talked about was so valuable for anyone, and I hope everyone who listens to this takes something from this, and I hope there's like no premonitions or like preconceived ideas around anything to do with sex, any sexual role that puts you off understanding, and well, not even understanding, just having awareness of the other person and really like trying your best to be mindful of the of yourself mainly, and then of other people. And I think Amir has taught us all a lot about that.
I agree. I feel like I just want the world to love. I want people to not be afraid to love each other.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and reaching out to us, and we had some amazing conversations with you, and it's been so nice talking to you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Seriously, it's been a pleasure with speaking with both of you. I feel like there's been so many great topics covered and so many good ideas, and I'm genuinely really thankful for the fact that you guys took the time to like actually like get in contact with me and take time to literally take your time and pay attention. So thank you for everything.
Yeah, thank you for reaching out to us as well, and like being
thanks.
so supportive of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm grateful people will get to listen to this and all the stuff that you had to say, and I feel like you've taught us stuff, so I'm sure I hope our listeners learn some shit too. I'm really grateful you got to come on, so thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful. Thank you. You guys have definitely like opened up this opportunity for all of us to even have this discussion and put this out there for people, so thank you. And like just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Please leave us a review if you did, rate us, subscribe, share. You can find us on Instagram at Sextras Podcast, on our website at www.sextraspodcast.com, on Facebook at Sextras Podcast. Or you can email us at sextraspodcast@gmail.com.
If you guys want to follow my Instagram account, it's at anarchy_flow7777.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Sextras, presented by Honey Jane Wyatt and Maria Jose Hayodatiyi. Produced by Mabel Productions.